To be very honest with y'all, we're always ready, on time for the most part here on PCP to do these live streams, to do these live shows. And I like to play a little bit of an intro video. We're going to be starting soon to get people time to get in the chat so they don't miss the beginning. But then honestly, I get wrapped up in that song, y'all. I get wrapped up in that YouTube studio, silly techno-y poppy song. I just start jamming to it and realize, oh crap, I should go live. Anyway, welcome everybody to Pop Culture Philosophers, the year of PCPX. And if you're not down with PCPX, I got two words for you. Suck it. Anyway, we're moving on. We've got a great guest today. I occasionally like to have conversations on this channel. Just 2, 3, 4, maybe sometimes 6 people just talking about nothing, right? Like an episode of Seinfeld or something like that. And that can go with creators, whether they're or celebrities or whatever, right? I just love having conversations with people, especially YouTubers in and part of the comic book community. And what better way to kick off the year of PCPX than bringing in the newest member of the PCP Army Bad Batch? What is a backlog, bro? Maybe we can finally figure it out from who we affectionately refer to as Scotty from the YouTube channel SVaughn82. Everybody, give him a station, maybe even a pop, pop, boom, but definitely not a suck it until later. We'll see what happens. What's up, Scotty? How you doing, buddy?
Yes, what's up, station? I too was jamming to the intro music. I was in a trance, bro.
I know, dude. It's like dun, dun, dun,
I was
dun,
bobbing
dun,
my
dun.
head. Yeah, it was good. It was good. I'm happy to be here, man.
Dude, happy to have you here. I think I reached out like in December or something like that. I was like, hey man, let's bring you on. Let's just pick a random Thursday. Didn't realize it was going to be, I should have realized this is the week of my anniversary, right? It's the weekend.
Oh.
It's my girlfriend's birthday was yesterday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yes, right? Hey, happy birthday, Lena.
Happy birthday.
But what a freaking crazy week to schedule a double feature, because tonight I'll be on Blood Splatter Chatter, everybody, talking about George A. Romero's underappreciated classic, Martin. Anyway, so, yes. But dude, so happy to be here, man. I had to go get a haircut today. I had to get fresh for you, my man. Look at that.
Looking
hey,
slick,
man.
Robbie.
Look at that. Yeah, look at that.
Slick, man.
This is the best hair award winner,
That is true.
I was gonna say, in fact, this is where I want to start. I told you I'd start by asking the typical question. We'll get there. I'm going to start this way. When I first remember and recall seeing you on YouTube, it was on, maybe it was a Comic Journey stream. Maybe it was CJ's show, right? But it was a bunch of people because I got a bunch of messages. Hey, man, there's like a show of a bunch of grown-ass men like complaining about you winning best hair, right? And I was like, oh, shit, I got to go see this. And bro, I think you had my back. Not about the hair, but like I think you had my back. Am I misremembering, or is that something that happened, buddy?
I did have your back.
And I think I even said, I like this dude. There was another person too, and I can't recall who he was. But like 2 of y'all had my back. And I was like, oh man, we're cool now, man. We're cool. We're cool.
You got to stand your ground with CJ. You just got to stand your ground with CJ.
Oh, I know. I've been there. Yeah, I've been there before. We had the devastating no wins at the CBC Awards this year. But congrats on, did you get one this year?
I got nominated twice. So for me, that's a win. For a channel that like myself, I consider that a win, man. So to be nominated.
You're right, man. Just being nominated is an honor, right? But we were nominated for fucking 7 and got none, man. I was so pissed.
I was kind of upset about that myself. Like, how in the hell do you get nominated for 7 and you didn't even get 1? What the hell?
It's all right, man. It was back. It was we almost near swept the year before. So honestly, it's fine.
Last year, the year before was your year. So
thank you, Jay. Thank you, Jay. Oh yeah, and now it's the year PCPX. So they're gonna do some bullshit like try to give me the Lifetime Achievement Award or something. And we have Bubes in the house, man. What's up, my man? How you doing?
Hey, Travis.
All right, so that did happen. I was pretty sure it was you and the guy. I wish I could remember the other guy.
No, I don't remember who else was on there now. It's just
if I saw him, I would know who he is, but I can't remember the name of the channel or his handle or anything. Anyway, I appreciate it, and it's funny. And CJ, by the way, is a super cool dude. I love him.
CJ's awesome. I love CJ.
Fuck you, Brian. Fuck you, buddy. I was surprised at the results. You could have like swung it my way, man.
Hashtag rigged.
Just kidding. Scotty, I want to get to know you.
Yes, sir.
We're both members of comic book fandom.
We are.
So when did you get into comics, man? Like what was it? What year? What book? Why? How? All that shit.
Cool. I originally got into comic books as a small child, and it was like Secret Wars and that Thing series, the John Byrne the Thing series that kind of continued off of Secret Wars.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Um,
He's like wrestling and shit.
I got into comics as a small kid, and like many of us, I grew out at a certain point. I think girls and playing music and stuff like that came into the picture, and so I kind of got away from it, and then I got back into it. I was an addict for years. Just a quick story. I was an addict. I decided to get clean about 5 years ago, and that's kind of how I got back into to comics again. Like COVID hit when I was coming out of rehab, and I needed some good hobbies. I needed some good things to help keep myself out of trouble, and so I started going in comic shops, and that's sort of how I got back reading comic books again, was just needing a good clean hobby to keep myself occupied. And dude, I couldn't have picked a better hobby either. Like I missed it. But Marvel, I think Marvel's had a place in my life regardless. Like whether I read comics or not, Marvel's always had a place in my life throughout the years in some form or another. But I don't know. I love comic books, but I got back in heavily about probably 5 years ago.
Okay. Oh, that's dope. 5 years ago. That's 2020. Yeah, so you're like COVID brought you back in. You're one of them. You're like a relapsed fan who came back in during COVID.
It was like, sobriety / COVID.
Yeah. The way it compounded together, right? You've been very vocal about sharing your story of sobriety. And I do think that's super awesome and very bold, and that's a scary thing to do, is to be so honest about stuff like that, right? And you do that, man. And I just want to tell you, I respect you, man. Station. That's awesome, man.
Oh, I appreciate it. I know that it always helps me to hear other people's story, and to hear that I wasn't the only one that felt a certain way. And so I felt, so obviously, it's common sense that maybe it would help other people if I shared mine. And people have responded to me numerous times and said that, little things that I've done here and there have helped them. So I just want to continue that, man. It's a good thing.
That makes you feel good when people tell you that you have some kind of a positive impact on their life, right?
I mean, especially after years of just hurting everybody around me, hurting my friends and family and just people I love. It's good to do nice things instead of doing bad things.
Yeah. Yeah. So Secret Wars, you mentioned, what you're repping tonight, right? Right. Secret Wars was one of the first comics that you read when you were very young.
I love Secret Wars. Great series.
Secret Wars was one of my first-ish comics too. So I got into comics in 86, right? And I'm 5 years old. And I'm getting into them because my stepdad, basically my actual father, right? Bio dad wasn't always there, but now I'm trying to pay attention to the damn comments and talk. I need to highlight the comments when you're talking. That's what I need to do. So then when I don't have to pay attention to you. So I've told this story many times, but my stepdad, he was in the Navy. He would be stationed somewhere, and then he would buy a bunch of comics and he would send them to me, right? So I'm like 5 years old and I'm getting these packages of comics. And at the time it was DC Comics Presents, it was Superman, it was Uncanny X-Men, it was stuff like Secret Wars, and then eventually Secret Wars 2. Like Secret Wars was already in the box. We had a box of comics I could read, and then he would ship me new comics basically to add to the box. Then he had a secret box in his closet that I found that had Savage Sword of Conan and stuff like that, right? He wasn't into like some of the super crazy gnarly stuff, right? I didn't get into that till way later, right? But yeah, I would like sneak in there when my mom was playing bingo or some shit like that. I'd read those Savage Swords of Conan's and see like boobies and decapitations and shit like that. And my mom was a big horror fan. So it just started a love I had of comics and movies and just exploitation, not actual exploitation, but exploitation movies. And I was into comics at the same time, man. And dude, it's hard to describe to a lot of people because one of the things I think we hear a lot now is that kids aren't reading comics.
Yeah.
Right. First of all,
Yep.
that's a lie, but we can unpack that later. But back then, like, it's hard to describe to people what it was like to like go to the store and like any store you're at and you're seeing Spider-Man, you're seeing Batman, Superman, the X-Men, right? And the X-Men were known amongst comic fans, but especially with Spider-Man, Hulk, Superman, and Batman, these are characters that we knew because I remember those movies and those cartoons, you know? Like, I think that Superpowers, Galactic Guardians, and the Superpowers action figure line got me more into comics than actual comics did at first. But that was also a great time to get into it. So there's some really good stuff, right?
Likewise. Yeah, definitely. I think the Toy Biz X-Men line and things like comic cards. Me and my neighborhood friends were like heavily into comic cards. And that got me further into comic books because that's how I learned about the characters.
Yeah, it works, dude. I still have this set down from our Festivus stream, I believe.
Yes, I have mine as well. Mine's over here on the wall, still sealed. It's my favorite childhood action figure, that Nightcrawler. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man.
So what made you decide? So you're going through the journey of sobriety.
Yep.
And you're finding hobbies, things to not only fill the time, but also to be meaningful, things that you can get into, right?
Yeah.
And inadvertently find a community, right? But what made you decide to make the jump into YouTube? Because can you just think about this, right? I think that it's one of the craziest things to do in one's life to go, you know what? I think people give a shit. I'm going to start a YouTube channel. Like that's bold, man. That's scary to a lot of people, man. What made you decide to do that?
What made me decide to do it was, like I was going to these AA meetings and NA meetings and like, you know, I completed rehab. I went to a halfway house, did all that, did everything I needed to do and was going to meetings and I was speaking at meetings. I was sharing at different meetings and, speaking of my experience, I was going back to Cadus and I would do, speeches for different classrooms and things like that. And, oh shit, what was the question? I lost my place.
What made you decide to do a YouTube channel?
Oh yeah, I blank out, dude. That's I blank out bad. But anyways, I was doing like speeches and stuff like that, and I started like a Facebook group, and it grew pretty big. I ended up like handing it off to somebody else, but it was just basically trying to help other people with sobriety and sharing our stories and different ways of helping people. Like people could reach out if they needed something. But I wanted to kind of try to do, I feel like Facebook is dying. I feel like it's kind of like people have slowly moved on to other things or they are slowly moving. I don't think Facebook will be around too much longer. And so I felt like I wanted to do the same thing and do it on a different platform. And so and plus like I'm into comic books. I love talking about comic books. I didn't really know too many people in real life in Chattanooga to share that passion with. And like when I got back into it, it just came flooding back, like all the love and everything for comics. So it's like a combination of a few things, man. Like I really wanted to talk about comic books and I wanted to talk about my sobriety and I wanted to figure out a way to do both.
Yeah. So why not document it on YouTube, right?
Yeah. And that's, I mean, like Comic Book Addicts, it's a live stream that I do. I started it back up this year, a couple weeks ago, but I've done it the last couple of years. And that was actually started to be sort of doing like different sobriety topics and mental health topics and stuff like that. But it kind of slowly branched more into comic book interviews and stuff like that. And I always meant to go back to the recovery more.
I gotcha.
But that's how Comic Book Addicts started.
Oh, that's really cool. And that's a thing that I remember. Did you do the same thing I did when you started a YouTube channel? Like watch a bunch of YouTube videos about how to start a YouTube channel?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I did.
Yeah. Right. And one of the things that I learned in that was, all right, pick your wide topic. Like, well, let's say it's movies or let's say it's comics, or let's say it's I don't know, fitness or whatever it is, right? Pick that. Now, how many people got a channel about that? A fucking lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So how
Yeah.
can you create a tunnel within that wider tunnel? And the idea is to keep kind of shrinking down until you come up with a concept that is not like anybody else, right? So I love
Yeah.
the idea of comic book addicts. I love the double meaning of that title,
Yeah.
right? And I
Yeah.
love that thing. I think you should get more back into that, man, because
I,
that's something that like would separate you from a lot of other channels, right?
yeah. See, and the thing about it, like, I worked really hard at it. I just don't feel like it. I don't feel like it grew like I wanted it to. It didn't really like take like I wanted it to. I guess I'm gonna give it another try this year. I'm gonna try some different things and
Yeah.
try a different day. Maybe it was the day, but I love doing it. Comic book. I love talking to different people, whether it be YouTubers or creators. I love talking about my sobriety. I love hearing about other people's stories. So it is something that I am going to do more in 2025. I just kind of need to figure out exactly what I want to do with it going forward. Because it's like, that's not the thing that took off with my channel. And that's not the reason why I'm successful or somewhat a little bit successful on YouTube.
Well, you can also be a comic book addict because you really like sex and raunch and subversion and transgression, right?
That's what people latched onto when I talk about like that the adult erotica and that sort of stuff. That's what people like to hear from my channel. So that's what I started doing the Wednesday videos on.
Bro,
And
I'm going to tell you something. I think it takes a lot of balls and intestinal fortitude, right, to start a YouTube channel to begin with, right?
yeah,
And then to put your story out there, to be honest and authentic, especially a story of sobriety, right? Because
yeah,
a lot of people are scared of doing something like that because it shows weakness. Well, the honest truth is we're all weak. We're human. We all have weaknesses, right? And people telling and sharing these stories instead of just having to be so like macho all the time, or like, no, I never have to deal with problems. I got everything figured out, right? Not even Elon Musk has got everything figured out. That dude's wrecking his life every day as we speak. You know what I'm saying? And this is a dude who could have everything, right? But sometimes not everybody needs to hear what you got to say before you really think about it. But it's really, really ballsy to me, no pun intended, to do what you're doing with adult erotica in comics. Because, dude, I got a collection of cherry Pop-Tart, I got
awesome.
Milo Manera. Like, I love that stuff. I would love to like dive in and show why it's so good. Not just because of I do love subversion. I love transgression. I blame my mother for that because of the horror movies she let me watch when I was a child, right? But I like things that push boundaries, dude. So that takes a lot of balls. And we were talking before we got streaming, man. Like, you were like, no, I started hard, bro.
I did. I came in hot and heavy. Once I figured out, I did the cherry Pop-Tart video. It did really well. So I figured out, well, actually, I didn't figure it out. I can't take credit for it. Comic Tropes took a look at my channel and he's like, dude, you do this and you do this pretty well. Why don't you continue to do this? And like a light bulb lit up. So I'm like, I don't know why it never occurred to me before, but it took Comic Tropes realizing that and realizing it for me. And so I started making the videos and they were doing really well, dude. And I enjoy it. It's not just about like the nudity and things like that. I try to make sure that that's in there because I know people like to see that, but it's, dude, I really, really enjoy the art. I really, truly do. And I have a deep respect for, probably too deep sometimes, for these creators. People like Vaughn Baudet, man, like just blow me away. Just blow me away. The things that he was able to do in his 32 years on Earth, it just blows me away.
Yeah, you like even people like Crumb, and
Robert Crumb.
Yeah, dude, like Crumb, his work, and then now I'm blanking. Yeah, yes, exactly. Oh, a lot of people's whose work you've talked about, right? Howard Cruz, right? Who's like was like doing alternative gay comics back in the day and shit like that, right? Like,
yeah, I actually did a video about that, gay comics.
I know. I was so fucking happy to see that. My buddy Joe Corallo, Howard was his muse, man. And me and Joe did a video one time about a PBS documentary called No Straight Lines that Howard is in and a lot of other people. And there is no difference between these alternative underground gay creators doing gay comics and stuff like that
Mm.
than the Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers and what, you know, Baudet was doing and shit like that. And Crumb was doing, like, they were, but the thing is, it's not just about, it's subversive and transgressive to society. I like that. I've always been rebellious in nature, right? You know, and I
It
feel like you
definitely is.
probably are the same, man. I feel
My whole
like we
life.
got this. Yeah, right.
My whole
So
life.
I love it when someone goes, "Oh, this is how we make story. This is how we make movies. This is how we make comics. This is how we make fiction." And then somebody else goes, "Yeah, but what if we did this?"
These people go against the grain.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love that. I love
In a
counterculture.
beautiful
I
way.
love subversion. I love transgression. Like fucking do it, man. Like, that's why I love saying some of the fucking redonkulous shit I'll say sometimes on the channel, because that's the only thing I can do is really push that, you know?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So I'm glad
But then,
somebody else
like,
sees it.
what you were saying about the craft, though, the craft is amazing. And most of the time, like with Cruz, with Crumb, with Baudet, these are single individuals that are doing everything. They're writing the book,
Everything.
they're illustrating the book, they're inking it, they're lettering it, they're packaging it, they're putting it together, they're distributing it. Like, that's one person, one vision, straight to you, the reader. That shit is
Yeah.
amazing to me, man.
It is. It is. It blows me away. Like, you and look at the detail to some of their artwork, and yeah, man, it really is. It's amazing. Some of the contributions that some of those people did for comics, like Dennis Kitchen, for example. He set up the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund. Dennis Kitchen did that. He set that up. It exists to this day. It helps comic shop owners like Robbie and get themselves out of legal trouble. It helps artists and writers get themselves out of legal trouble.
Yeah,
When
because
it
there's a
comes,
lot of I don't know if a lot of people know about this, but there's a lot of shops who get people basically try to come at them for selling obscene material, creators for creating it, you know, shit like that, right? And I'm like,
yeah,
you don't even know about Verotic comics then, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, yes. And it has happened so much in the past, and I've covered it a lot in my videos. But yeah, dude, just the impact that some of these it blows my mind, man. It blows my mind. I see a lot of
see,
cool people in the chat too. What's up,
so
y'all?
Chris did you right, man, by the way. Chris did you right because did you reach out to him or he reach out to you?
I reached out to him initially to do Comic Book Addicts. He did a pre-recorded Comic Book Addicts. He was nice enough to do that with me, but he actually stayed backstage for like an hour with me. Super, super cool guy. And he's like, I'm going to take a look at your channel. And he got back to me and he's like, this is what I see. You do this really well. Do this more. And a light bulb lit up.
See, he was doing that tunnel thing, right? That I was talking about. Like, that's the tunnel that opened up for you, right? And I guess that's the bigger thing. Like, at first, we're all trying to figure out, what can I do? Like, my first journey to do. Here's my thing. I was like, I want to do pop culture. I want to talk about movies. Right? That was like my number one goal, right?
Yeah.
Like, was movies. Like when Sticky tried to roast me and shit, right? Like, no, his wife was spot the fuck on, dude. Like, I'm a movie dude, right? Now I'm a comic dude through and through as well, right? It's comics and movies. That's what I fucking love, right?
Yeah.
I spend all day immersed in comics and film, right?
Of course. Yeah.
And
pop culture philosopher.
exactly. Well, but I also love deep diving into things. And I'm like, there's a reason why we like what we like, you know? Like, It's not just how cool the image looks. It's not just how neat the story was or the twist or whatever the fuck, right? There's a reason these stories mean something. That we've been telling stories to each other since we could, you know, as a species, right? Humanity. We've been telling stories. These stories are lessons, you know, like what's the difference? Cause I grew up in the Baptist church, and I was training and in seminary, even at the end of high school, to become a preacher. That's what I was going to do.
Wow.
That was my life. Yeah, that was my life path, right?
And you're in the South too, so it's a Southern Baptist church.
No, we were actually Yellow Creek Baptist Association, which prided themselves of not being Southern Baptist for some reason, but yeah, denominations within denominations. You know exactly what I'm talking about, man.
Yes.
But yeah, very similar, you know. But no, I loved and still love, right? Studying spiritual and religious texts, dissecting them and pulling lessons and applications for my personal life.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
What I learned from a book called The Reflective Life. It's a Christian book, right?
Okay.
But the whole idea was we could take God's plan and God's lessons from all kinds of fiction, like the movies you watch. It's okay to be Christian and watch movies because these movies have these lessons. These books have these lessons, right? And then in my teenage years, I get into Grant Morrison and the idea of comics being literal modern day mythology, right? And there's no difference between Zeus and Superman, or Hades and Batman, or Hera and Wonder Woman, or Hermes and Flash, or Apollo and Green Lantern. I could keep going, right? But like they all represent something, right? And
Yes.
I've always been into religious and spiritual texts and the application of story into personal life. So I wanted to make a channel that did that, right? My initial view was that we would have like video essays dissecting things and applying things. It became something different, because what took off for me was doing weekly comic book reviews, right? And
you do them really well.
And once a tunnel opens up, you follow into it. And that's exactly what Chris told you to do with those videos, right?
That's what happened. Yeah. I threw so much shit at the YouTube wall. Nothing stuck except for that, basically. And then that's seemed to stick pretty well. So, but oh, dude, how did you feel about the Ultimate Wolverine? Feeling how you or being into what you were just talking about. How did you feel about Ultimate Wolverine #1?
I really loved Ultimate Wolverine #1. I really did. I really loved it. I think the Ultimate Universe overall has been really solid. I think that's mostly because it's kind of curated by Jonathan Hickman a little bit, and they're playing with his vision and his idea of what they're doing. And that separates the Ultimate Universe right now from a lot of the other Marvel stuff, in my opinion, because it's pretty obvious. I'm not like a super overall modern day Marvel fan right now. I wish I was, because I think a healthy Marvel is a healthy comic book industry. And I think that they have some work to do. But no, I loved it. They're dealing with some stuff. I need to read it again and dwell and think about it to really unpack some of the ideas. But I think they're playing with, because of the idea of like, it's the Russian section basically of the Maker's world, right?
Yep.
And the Winter Soldier, we're playing with that. We're playing that with Wolverine, and we're talking about the exploitation of an individual, and we're talking about war, but we're applying it to like some interesting stuff. I think Chris Condon is a really smart writer, and I think he's playing with some ideas of like, I always fuck up the name, like Dostoevsky. Is that what, like, y'all know what I'm talking about, I'm sure. I think he's kind of playing with some stuff with that, but I loved it. I thought the art was great. I hate that they got, is it Alessandro Capuccio? I hate that they got him now on that instead of Moon Knight, because he was killing it on Moon Knight, man.
I wasn't reading Moon Knight, but I heard good things though.
It's one of the best Moon Knight runs, dude. It's one of the only Moon Knight runs since the 90s. Well, since the 80s, actually. But since the 90s, no Moon Knight run has kept my attention beyond 12 issues, except for Jed McKay. You got to read Jed McKay's Moon Knight run. Super good, man.
I do need to check that one out. I've heard a lot of good things about that run.
What did you unpack from Ultimate Wolverine #1? What did you think?
I thought it was pretty damn good, man. I really like how they've got him as the Winter Soldier. And I thought it was really cool how they were using like how they inserted all the biblical phrasing throughout the story. I thought that it was really cool. Really well done.
Shit, there's biblical phrasing there. I didn't even pull it. I didn't even
throughout
pull
the whole
that
book.
up.
Yeah, that's why I asked you. Yeah. They're like quoting Bible stuff throughout the whole, like they worked it into the whole first issue.
They are. I think they're doing like a Psalms or something, aren't they? Yeah. I'll be honest with you, man. When I was reading on Tuesday night, because I was like, it was a late night, got a late start, had a lot of books. There was like the snow, there was like the snow shit that happened last week.
Oh God, yeah.
Right? Fucking threw everything off, got the shipments late. Usually I stagger my comic book reading. I used to, when I first started, I would read everything in one day, then do the video, right?
That's a lot.
Well, at first it wasn't a lot because I actually would limit myself to 10 books. I'd be like, I'll just talk about the 10 that I'm most excited to read. And I did that for like a while,
I
right?
feel like you're like me, though. You can just knock them out, though. When I get on a roll, I can knock out some comics.
Me too. I really can. I will, like, there have been plenty of nights of my life, bruh, especially as a middle schooler or a teenager alone, just rereading comics and reading like 20 comics in one night. Like just sitting down, doing nothing, have nobody over, reading 20 fucking comics. Easy to fucking do, man.
I can knock out like 10 on a
once
good night.
Once you get into it, it's fine. But yeah, initially, if you look at the very first weekly comic book reviews, like, yeah, I would cover like 10 books or something like that. But then eventually I just expanded and I started reading. I'll just, everything I read, I'll talk about it, right? But like, I didn't have much going on, and I've designed my life now in such a way that Tuesdays, for the most part, throughout the existence of the weekly comic book review, have been set aside for this purpose, right? Now it's getting a little bit more trickier because it's one of the days that me and my girlfriend both have the afternoon off together. So that keeps pushing it back a little bit. And then she likes to go to dance classes, or she actually goes to like dance socials. She's like a really good dancer. West Coast swing in particular. And so
Very
some Tuesdays I was trying to go out there and hang out with her. And man, I love to dance. You get me in a club, bruh. You get, I'll get out there and you'll just be like, what the fuck is Robbie doing, man?
But I have no shame. I do not get embarrassed ever.
Yeah, good.
I'm one of those people. I'll do anything, dude. I don't care.
So like, but doing like West Coast swing where there's like movements and things you got to like pay attention to, you got to lead and follow, bruh. I get so fucking tripped up. Like, for somebody who thinks I have flow and rhythm, like it's rough there. But I found recently that I'm a really good follow. And most people think the dudes are supposed to be the leads and the women are supposed to be the follows. That's not the case. When it comes to dance, I still have Lady Fantastic. By the way, thank you so much. Dose to
Caroline.
Yeah.
I love Caroline.
So, fuck you, Bueller. But that's why you're not invited on the channel, man. Anyway. And I always told you have an open invitation, Bueller. Jesus Christ, man. I do cut a rug. I think Bueller's seen me dance a little bit, but not with someone, like doing the leader phone. What's that?
I've stalked Bueller before. I stalked down the Bueller bus the first time we met.
Was that last year?
It was a couple years ago. We've met in person.
Years. Okay.
Yeah, we've met in person twice, but the first time I stalked him down.
What do you mean you stopped him down? Did you like, what do you mean? Really. What were you like paying attention to his IG, what comic shops he was at? You were like going to every comic shop in your area and like trying to find the Bueller bus?
Not really. He posted something about his travels and where he was going and what area he was passing through. And he was meeting with Logan, really cool friend of a mutual friend of ours. He was meeting up with him anyways. And so I just asked him where he was going to be. And he said McKay's. So we just showed up there. I got my girlfriend to drive me up there, and I was walking around the bus filming because I wasn't expecting him to, like, I don't know, wave me on or what. I didn't know what to expect, honestly. I was just going to film the bus. So I'm like walking around the bus recording it, and he comes up to the window and he's like, come on, dude, come on. Like I'm some kind of weird, I guess I was a weird stalker, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Let me ask you a question. Well, he gets that a lot. He gets people not even in the comic book industry and community and YouTube community, but like he just gets so random people asking him shit all the time about that fucking bus. I think he's getting tired of it, man, to be honest with you, man.
He was so welcoming, dude. He let me come on the bus and he like showed me around, gave me a tour, let me record, like do this little video on there. And that was some
Did he show you his poop bucket?
I did not see the poop bucket. I kind of wish I would have looked for a poop bucket now, but
well, I think he has it hidden away when he's not using it, but he showed me his poop bucket.
Like a piss bottle?
No, it's it's a thing made and designed for that kind of life, for that van life, you know? It's like made for that.
It's like a legit poop bucket.
Yeah, it's a legit poop bucket that Bueller has. I just always like to give him shit about it. Let me ask you a question then. Like, not to keep busting on Bueller because I love you. You're right. Bueller's like Travis. Trying to get in that habit, right? As Bueller's I guess ending this year. It's a toilet. We know. That's what I said. It's a professional. Like it's a real. It's not just a bucket that he has.
I was
It
thinking
looks like
5-gallon
one.
bucket, like a painter's bucket.
No, Brian. The thing about the poop bucket is you don't smell the poop bucket. But before I get to that, I do want to say that like Travis is one of the absolute best people I've ever met in my life, dude. Like every time that dude comes around, there's never been an awkward moment with him. I first met him on a stream on Gem Mint Collectibles. We were, it was actually the birth of the monthly comic book review, right?
Cool.
Gem Mint wanted to do something weekly, like a spoiler discussion about the week's comics. And we did a few of those, and then it kind of became a monthly thing, and then it just kind of died out, right? And then we took me and Bueller and Dylan from Dylan's Horror Show and Bob, Bullseye Bob, kind of took the reins and kept it alive for a while, and then it kind of became what it became now, which is a really great show, which you should be on since you read weekly comics, right? You read comics every week, right?
I read a lot of books, yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about Ultimate Wolverine on Thursday. That means you read it already. That means you're a Wednesday warrior, bro.
Yeah, I definitely am, man. I go hard on Wednesdays. I read 15 to 20 books a week, easy.
Hell yeah. But back to Bueller. He's amazing. He's great. One of the best, most authentic and caring people I've ever met.
He really is.
What did the bus smell like when you went in, man? Be very honest right now with me, please.
It smelled like a bus, man. Like I mean, you know, smelled like a bus. It didn't stink.
It
I
smells.
Didn't think it anything.
It smells like somebody's room that hasn't been aired out in a while. That's all I'm trying to say.
Are you saying it smells musty?
No, here's the thing. We're down in the Southeast, right? And every time Bueller comes here, he straight up is like, what the fuck is wrong with your climate here? He's not used to the humidity. He's not used to the thickness of it. He was here in like September and he goes, why is it 90 something degrees in September? It's like, cause you're in Alabama, bro. By the way, next week it's gonna be like 4 fucking degrees. Oh, fuck you, Bueller. I got a bunch of plugins though, man. So maybe you just don't like the smell. Does it really smell? Does it?
Oh,
does it really smell? Man, I hope it doesn't. Nobody tell. I always get. Do you get nervous about the way your place smells? Because I do.
I don't typically have a lot of people over. I kind of live in the woods, but yeah, I want my place to smell good. I would definitely want my place to smell good. I feel like it probably does. I feel like my comic room probably smells like old comic books and toys, like the vinyl that toys are made out of.
Yeah. I don't know what my place smells like, to be honest, because I don't, we're in our environment all the time. We don't smell it, right?
Yeah, you get what is it, like smell blind?
Yeah, exactly, right? But I do the Febreze, I got the plugins, I got the sprays. I try to keep it fresh, right?
I do that.
I don't air out my place though. I don't do that. I don't like, people like open their windows to air it out. Dude, my blinds are always shut, right? And because I like to control my lighting in my house. And like, you think this is just the studio? You're wrong, bro. Like my house is chill as fuck, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But I got this giant ass bag chair that like I have proven 6 people can fit on. It's fucking dope, man.
That sounds pretty awesome.
My girlfriend gave me that. It's pretty dope. It's become very useful. Right now the cats have been using it, but no, that is the thing. I get scared. Like, does my house, because I got 2 cats, does my house just smell like a litter box and like old musty books and like fucking like Robbie's balls or some shit like that?
Surely not. Open a fucking
oh fuck, Bueller's right, man. Cat piss and rotten crotch. Damn, dude. That's rough. Bro, if you're being for real, you need to let me know, because honestly, Bueller's bus doesn't smell that fucking bad, dude. I'm sorry I wrecked you, man. Like, now you got me twisted up. Does my fucking apartment smell bad?
Dude, you got him self-conscious now.
Yeah, man. Fuck.
Travis was awesome, man. I've got to meet him in person twice. I got to have lunch with him and dig through comic books with him last time. So that was a lot of fun.
Straight up at first, I thought you said you dicked through comics with Bueller, and I had this
I
idea of
dipped
you
through
with
them.
your
I
just
I
like with your.
literally went through them with my wiener, y'all.
Don't put that one up on YouTube.
Nah, some people you meet and they're like, I've met people over the course of my life that were sort of a disappointment when you met them. You're like, that guy's kind of a dick. Travis is not a dick. He was really, really genuinely cool both times.
I do not have a GameCube. I have a Wii that has an emulator on it that I play a lot of. Like, I play retro games. That's what I do. It's like, if this game came out after 2000, I probably never heard of it. I do have an N64. I have a Wii with the emulator. I got a Genesis, like, it's one of those small, like, Genesis flashbacks or whatever. And I got an Atari 2600 flashback.
Oh, sweet.
Got Frogger and Pitfall on it and Missile Command. I'm good to go, man. Are you a gamer at all?
I'm the same. What you said, exactly what you said. I am an old school gamer. I do enjoy. I kill it at Burger Time, Dr. Mario. I love the old school stuff. Yeah.
Fucking Dr. Mario. I'll take Dr. Mario over Tetris any day, man.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah. Hell yeah. Dr. Mario was a shit.
It's simpler too, though. Like, to be honest, like Tetris is a fucking good game, man. Did you have a Game Boy back in the day, man?
Yeah, I was one of the first kids to get a Game Boy because I had a really cool cousin that worked at the Pepsi company, and they gave her one like before they were even out in stores. So I got one real early.
Hell yeah, dude. What's the best Game Boy game in your opinion? Not like you have to, like, because like I didn't play every fucking game. I'm not a game reviewer or anything like that. But like, what's the Game Boy game you played the fucking most, man?
The one that I got probably the most enjoyment, I guess. Let's see. Alleyway was definitely a cool one. Like, I played Alleyway a lot. The one that's basically like Pong. You're bouncing. It's like Pong, but you're knocking out the blocks. I played that a lot.
Okay.
God, what Tetris, of course.
Tetris came with the Game Boy at first, right?
Yeah, it did. It came with it. Mario Land was pretty good, but that was kind of hard. Mario Land for Game Boy was hard.
Oh, I love the Egyptian theme on that shit, man.
It was the music, dude. That soundtrack, it killed it.
Yeah, I need to get a Game Boy like emulator or something. I know that I see people streaming games because I watch retro games streaming. It's one of my guilty pleasures on YouTube.
That's cool. I used to do that.
Yeah, I will straight up just watch people playing like old school games from the 80s and the 90s, man. And a lot of Mario, man. I love Mario, dude. I didn't have a lot of the Mario games or the Wario games, right? Well, Wario shows up in Super Mario Land. Is it the first one or the second one? Do you remember?
I don't remember when Wario shows up first.
Yeah, it's either the first one or the second one, but then he gets his own game series. I never had a Virtual Boy. Always wanted one, still want one, but I remember playing it. My Toys R Us had a Virtual Boy, like you could like put it on and like play it, right? It was like set up. And man, those were great days where you could go to the store and be like, yeah, mom, we can go to the store. Yeah. You're at Walmart just playing a fucking video game. Oh my God.
Yeah, I miss those, like going to Toys R Us and being able to play the games, or going to like a music store and being able to sample music, which now people stream, so it's different. But I miss those kind of stores though. Yeah,
those are so much fun, man. And like I got the N64, so I need to go and buy some more cartridges, right? Because right now all I have is I bought it like 2 years ago, and all I have is like Mario 64 and I don't know, some fucking Hot Wheels racing game or some shit like that. Like I think I got GoldenEye. Did I buy GoldenEye? I don't know. I need GoldenEye. GoldenEye is one of the greatest, man.
Yes, you need to get Perfect Dark too. Have you ever played Perfect Dark?
Oh, Perfect Dark is great, dude. Yeah, dude, my favorite N64 games were like Perfect Dark, GoldenEye, Mario 64. I'm the guy who loves Donkey Kong 64. I love the fuck out of Donkey Kong 64. It's a long, crazy ass game that I've never beaten, so I want to get that one again. But also, and Wayne Gretzky's 3D hockey on the fucking N64 was the shit, man.
I never played that.
My favorite hockey game, man. But Conker's Bad fucking Fur Day, dude. I love Conker's Bad Fur Day, but it was all because of the multiplayer. Because it's like GoldenEye with like crude and rude cartoon characters, right?
Yeah, you walk around peeing like he would pee.
Yeah, you go to the bathroom and you can pee as a weapon.
Yeah, it was
And you get
awesome.
like acid piss or some shit like that, dude. Fuck yeah.
Did you
dude.
ever play Leisure Suit Larry, where you're just trying to get the dude laid?
No, but I remember hearing about that.
That was a funny game. It
You know,
was
some
funny.
people would say they don't make them like they used to, but fucking, I guess GTA probably is like that. So you don't do modern games at all?
No, man, I haven't owned a game system since the original Xbox.
Fuck, dude. I think well, okay, so I had a PS3, right? I did have a PlayStation 3 when that was newish because I had a buddy who ran a pawn shop
Oh,
and
sweet.
my Blu-ray player busted. I needed a Blu-ray player. And he called me one day. He goes, "Hey man, this is the cheapest Blu-ray." Actually, this was my first Blu-ray player. He was like, "This is the cheapest you're going to get a Blu-ray player right now." He's like, come to the shop, $200, it's yours." Right? Blu-ray players were like probably like $400 or something at the time, right? This is when like HD television is new. My first HD TV was a rear projection one. Oh my God, I had that way too long. It got all fucking weird with it. I hated that fucking thing. And it was like heavy as shit, dude. It's like a fucking 120 pounds or some shit for this giant ass fucking TV. And now TVs are just like, yep, here we go. I can move it. Like you just hold it up like this.
Like a picture frame. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, man. Where the fuck was I? What was I talking about?
I got sidetracked as well, man.
Oh no, that's what we do, man. Oh yeah, I got a PS3 because of the Blu-ray player. And since I had a PS3, like the last full games I actually played through that were new were Star Wars Force Unleashed and Batman Arkham Asylum, like the first one.
Oh,
like I played that game and loved it. Like that game was great. But the thing is, I like to read. I like to watch movies. I like to hang out with friends. I like to party a little bit sometimes.
Takes a lot
and
of
like,
time.
yeah, dude, I just don't have the time commitment because I got sunk into MLB The Show, bro. Like the fucking baseball game where you create a character and you go through a career, bro. I went through 20 years and I played every
dude. I feel that. I feel that because, and that's, you know, I get tempted every now and then to get like a PS5 or something like that. But for a little while I was playing. I got really addicted to the Contest of Champions on mobile app. And it's a Marvel game. I played that for like 2 years. I had my own alliance. We were doing wars and like all kinds of fun stuff. But dude, I spent so much time on that game. Like I don't need to do that. I would rather spread it out and on productive stuff, I guess.
Figure Drawing says, yeah, fuck you gamers. Touch grass while reading a damn book. Yeah, I feel that. But like at the same time, man, if gaming's your shit, that's fine. You know,
do it, man.
Watching movies, not everybody's shit. You know, get your shit out. You're like, what's the difference? You know, it's a hobby. It's a thing we enjoy and we sink time into. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, if you enjoy it, do it. It's just take it or leave it for me. So I don't care either way. But if it's something you love, by all means.
And look at that. Pete says Arkham Asylum is the reason I love comics today. That's fucking dope. So the success of comic book video games can bring success to comics. I know this for a fact because you know why most people know what Maximum Carnage is? It's because of the fucking game, dude. With the red cartridge.
Contest of Champions, man. I would not have known who any of the new Marvel characters were. So much shit happened in the 20 years that I didn't collect, or 30 years I didn't collect.
Yeah.
That
it's happening right now to people with Jeff the Land Shark, I guess, because of that Marvel Rivals game or whatever. Like,
yeah.
All of a sudden I'm like, this dude's been out for like a while. Like, why is everybody buying up our Jeff the Land Shark shit? You know?
Yeah, but the games introduce these characters to people. Yeah, that's what Contest of Champions. I didn't know who the champion was. I didn't know who Hela was. I didn't know who a lot of characters were until Contest of Champions.
Yeah. So what's the first comic book video game you remember playing?
Oh man, let's see. My first console was regular Nintendo. So I'm trying to think if there was one for that.
There were a few.
I mean, I remember like Ninja Turtles was fun, but that's not superhero.
I mean, but it's comic book. It's a comic book thing.
I don't know if I had any. Dick Tracy. Dick Tracy's a comic book. I played the hell out of Dick Tracy.
Dude, Do you hate that game as much as I do? What the fuck is up with that game, man?
It was hard as hell, but I had like this walkthrough guide, and like I used the
Okay,
walkthrough guide.
is that the game that has like the wonky ass controls for the car and shit,
It was
right?
so
Where it's like
wonky,
inverted.
man. It was
Yeah.
so wonky. Yeah.
All right. There's Lady Fantastic. That's the first one I remember playing. I remember me and my homie Garth.
I never had that. I
Yeah?
played it in the arcade. I played the X-Men in the arcade.
Oh yeah, dude, that one was awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
there you
remember
go.
playing that one. But there's like an Uncanny X-Men game for the NES. It's like a top-down view thing where you get like a few X-Men you can choose to play. I remember me
That's
and my
cool.
homies playing that game and like just being like, we rented it and we were like, what the fuck is this, dude? This game sucks, man.
Bummer.
But I remember the Punisher one on the NES. That's a
was a
good one. It's like
Punisher game?
yeah, it's like the Terminator 2 one back in the 90s where it's like a side scrolling, you're just shooting and firing and shit like
Okay.
that. Dude, it's
Yeah.
pretty fun. There's the infamous Silver Surfer NES game,
Never
which
played
is
it.
hard as fuck, bro. You got to play it. It's the most frustrating fucking game, dude, because you
Worse
get hit
than
once.
Battletoads?
You get Battletoads has that one really fucked up level. Silver
Yeah.
Surfer is almost like that one level of Battletoads throughout the entire thing, right?
Oh, geez.
You get hit once, you're done. Start over. Like, it's just like if you fly too high and the controls aren't like super tight, you know, so you'll just hit a fucking wall, you're dead, start over. Like it's fucking sucks. But at the same time, I love it. It's got great music, cool graphics. It's got Mephisto in it. It's got Silver Surfer, Galactus. Like it's cool, man. It was cool.
Man, I never played
one of the ones
it.
I remember loving though was Super Nintendo. Spider-Man and the X-Men Arcade's Revenge. Fucking loved that game.
So I had a lot of Super Nintendo games, but I never got to play that one.
See, that one was a good one. And did you ever play the Maximum Carnage game from the 90s?
I played it. Yeah, my best friend down the street had it.
Yeah, side scrolling and like talking about turtles. The NES Turtles, the first one, that was ridiculously hard for a fucking 8-year-old.
Oh god, it was hard. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never beaten it. I've never even come close, dude. I've never made it past the water level, bro. To be honest with you, man. I used to play that shit all the time. I have a console that will play NES, SNES, and Genesis games, right?
Oh, that's
like
sweet.
Actual games.
Emulators?
So I bought
yeah.
Well, it's like you actually use the carts to like put them in, right? So it's like a Retcon or Retron or something like that. And it plays all three. And I bought Mario 3 and that fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. But then they did the arcade game. The arcade game's the shit, right?
Yep.
Those side-scrolling fucking arcade games they used to have, like TMNT, Simpsons. There was of course, the X-Men. There was the Captain America and the Avengers one. God, I love that shit. I thought that stuff was awesome.
You mentioned Mario 3, man. I will always think very fondly of Mario 3 because I think one of my best Christmases ever, I got Mario 3. I remember just like playing that all morning. That's a great game.
We're near the same age then, man. What do you mind sharing what year you were born? I'm 1981.
82.
Yeah, dude, that's see, we're feeling it, man. As soon as you said, Secret Wars as a young kid, I'm like, whoa. Is he talking about the Jonathan Hickman one? He's not that young.
Nah. Yeah, I can remember like one of my earliest memories with comic books. I can remember riding in the back seat of my mom's car and I had that Thing issue 1 with the orange background. I can remember carrying that around in the back seat of my mom's car with me.
Yeah, that shit was dope. I remember John Byrne's Superman relaunch. Like I was like reading that stuff as it was coming out, you know? And it's usually somebody that facilitates, you know, at an early age, getting someone into comics. When people ask me all the time, now we can circle back to a subject I completely forgot about that I mentioned. Well, we can unpack that later. But usually when people always ask, how do you get kids into comics? One time I asked John from John's Comics with Kids this question because he's a teacher and he loves comics. Awesome. He loves reading. And he said, kids emulate their parents' behavior. If you want kids to read comics, let them see parents or other figures like that read comics.
Exactly.
And that's what I saw. Right? Yeah.
So your parents collectors, or they encouraged your collecting?
Yeah, my stepdad for sure. Like, because he was the one that was sending me those books, right? And I was curating his collection. Yeah, that's awesome, dude.
My mom was, I still do. I mean, I talk like she does, she's not alive. I had a fantastic mom growing up, and she really encouraged comic book collecting and toy collecting. And yeah, I had a great mom as a kid. Cannot complain.
Hell yeah. Me too. My mom got me into horror movies. My father got me into comic books, and my grandmother helped support all of it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Hell yeah. Yeah, we're just a bunch of millennials, Lady Fantastic. I'm sorry. We're a little
my dad raced motorcycles when I was really young, so he wasn't at home a whole lot when I was little. So my mom kind of spoiled me.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. That's dope. So all right, now it's a awkward pause.
Awkward pause, man.
The first one, dude. It only took just shy of an hour, man.
What do you want to talk about? Anything you want to talk about?
We were talking. Now I'm stumped. Now I don't know what to talk about. Well, here we go. What kind of movies you like, bruh? Do you like movies? Do you like the movies? You like the motion pictures? You like the talkies?
I mainly keep up with the latest MCU stuff. I try to, and then I watch basically whatever my girlfriend is streaming on TV at the time. But yeah, I mean, I've seen some movies. I don't watch I love horror movies. I love a good horror movie. I grew up on the classics. I love a good slasher movie. That's probably my favorite. Just a good, people running from some psychotic killer. I don't know. I like
dude, let me tell you something. At first, you were telling me I'm not really a cinephile. I watch MCU movies, blah blah. And then you go, but I'm really into horror. And I was like, oh, here we go. You see what I'm wearing right now, bro? You see what I'm wearing right now?
Oh hell yeah! I was thinking,
dude. I even got socks to fucking match, bro. It's my Jason socks with my Jason jersey.
See, I've loved Freddy Krueger, Jason, all the I've loved that since I was a kid. I don't even know why I got into it so heavily as a kid.
Was there anybody in particular that got you into that? Like with me, it was my mom. Or did you just discover it on your own?
For some reason, Freddy Krueger scared the shit out of me, and I was intrigued by it. I don't know. I guess being that scared, I was drawn to it for some reason. And no, my mom did not like me. I would pick out a Nightmare on Elm Street folder for school, and she'd make me put it back. She didn't want me to do she didn't want me to do the horror stuff.
Where did you watch those movies? Did you rent them from the video store? Did you see them on TV?
I just snuck around and watched them on TV and stuff.
Yeah, all right.
Different friends. I'd go to a friend's house and watch
Somebody's got HBO. Yeah, I'm going to go sleep over with Johnny.
Yeah, you always got the one friend that has Cinemax, so you just stay at their house.
Yes, and then there's just a bunch of dudes like you having a slumber party and y'all watching Red Shoe Diaries or some shit, man.
Red Shoe Diaries, yes sir. Some quality soft core.
I was talking about I found out that a bunch of those Skinemax type movies are available in DVD double feature sets now. Maybe they're even Blu-ray, but I think they're DVD because they're cheap. They're like $12-15 on Amazon. I put a bunch on my wish list, dude. I hope somebody fucking sends me one, and I'm like, all right, tonight we're covering fucking Wild Cactus or whatever the fuck, some shit like that, dude. I have a fondness for some of those movies. It's a nostalgic thing too, man. I bet some of those can get us going more than any of the most hardcore pornography could probably shy in comparison to the first softcore thing we see after 30 years of never seeing it, and then watching it again. I bet
dude, this is great. You're the only person that I've ever heard describe being nostalgic towards that type of stuff like I am. That's part of the reason I like doing the smutty stuff as well. I am extremely nostalgic to 70s, 80s, 90s smut, Playboy, Hustler, the softcore you were just talking about. It's just, I don't know if it's just the time period we grew up in or what, or it was taboo to us. We had to sneak around to watch it. I don't know what it is, but something about that. I'm extremely nostalgic to the old Playboy, Hustle, all that stuff. Penthouse.
Hell yeah. Yeah. I got a couple friends that are nostalgic about it too, man. We should do a movie review.
That would be awesome.
Maybe we can fit in once a quarter, maybe 4 or 6 times a year. We get together once every other month or something. But we'll eventually want to do it more than that. We'll see. But we all got schedules. But dude, let's do it. Let's do like a PCP movie night after dark.
We can do that because my monthly Dazzler series just wrapped. So I'm doing one less live stream now, so I can pick up one.
Yeah, that's not a. I'm going to write that one down. I got this notepad for a reason. PCP movie night after dark. What do y'all think out there in the chat? We got a few of us here. We got a couple. We got a couple of people here.
We know y'all want to see some Shannon Tweed. Come on now,
bruh. Carrie Warrior, right? That was oh my god, dude. Oh my god. Those movies, Tracy I'm Lord. Telling you, man. Bruh. I am nostalgic for them, man. I'm not even kidding, man. Like it is weird to talk about it like that, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird thing to be nostalgic for, but dude, I'm just being honest.
Yeah, me too. We're authentic. Right? So, okay, you said you like slasher films. What's like a slasher that stands out to you that's not like a Freddy, Jason, Michael?
Living where I live and the type of area that I live in the mountains, the Appalachian Mountains. And so a movie like, what is the one where the inbred people are chasing after? Crap, what is the name of that movie? It's like they're spiking.
You're describing like 10 that pop up in my head as soon as you said the inbred people chasing.
Well, the movie that came to mind is that movie where they like spike the people's tires. It's like this inbred family in West Virginia, and they're spiking. I can't remember the name of the movie.
When's this from? You're talking about The Hills Have Eyes.
No, it's not The Hills Have Eyes. Okay. Wrong Turn.
Oh, Wrong Turn. Okay.
That was a cool movie. That was a cool one.
Lisa knew what you were talking about.
Something about the inbred, like the inbred rednecks chasing after them, creep me the hell out. So that one was cool. I'm a big fan. I'm a fan of Rob Zombie stuff, like any of Rob Zombie stuff.
What's the best Rob Zombie movie?
The best Rob Zombie movie are debatable between the first two. Definitely the first two.
House and Devils.
House of 1,000 Corp. Or Devil's Rejects. They're both fantastic. They're both really good.
See, I'm not. I wouldn't consider myself a fan of Rob Zombie's films, right?
I'm a fan of Rob Zombie as a person. He's just a cool dude.
I love the music. I love his love of horror, right? Like, and sometimes I can get really into people because of that. Like, one of the reasons I think I'm into Adam Green, which I see somebody mentioned Hatchet as a great slasher, which it is. And then also Eli Roth, somebody 62 mentioned Cabin Fever. It was Rad that mentioned Hatchet.
Fever. That was a good one. Yeah.
It's a great one, right? Not a slasher, but that's like Eli Roth's like first movie, right? Then he did the Hostel movies and shit. And I'm a big fan of his because him and Adam Green, big fans of horror. So is Rob Zombie. I appreciate that. I never liked the Rob Zombie film, but the last time, so we did the Firefly trilogy over at Dylan's Horror Show a couple years ago. And I was all of a sudden like, man, I really like House of 1,000 Corpses. Like, I really love that movie. That movie's so wild. And I appreciate Devil's Rejects for what it is. Like, I think Devil's Rejects is his best made movie, right?
Okay.
House of 1,000 Corpses is more fun. I like fun in my horror movies, but I also like dark horror movies. I like uncomfortable stuff, you know? We're going to be talking about an uncomfortable movie tonight. Martin, over at Blood Splatter Chatter. Shit, he sent me the thumbnail. I got
never seen that one.
1977. It's the movie George A. Romero made before Dawn of the Dead. So
I am a big fan of George A. Romero. I like a lot of his work. I'm a
dude.
zombie fan.
Yeah. Devil's Rejects just seems mean to me, but I mean, like, I like movies like that. Like, I'm the guy that can watch Hills Have Eyes and Mother's Day and shit like that, right? Devil's Rejects is more in that kind of vein, I guess, you know, but I do respect it. 3 from Hell, though, that movie sucks ass, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They just shouldn't have. They should just let him die playing Freebird and let that be the end of it, man. You know,
that's what I thought too. That's exactly my sentiments. I felt like that was just a good way to go out, and they should have left it like that. Started with something original. I have not seen The
Substance. Have you seen the Substance yet?
No, I have not watched The Substance. Is it good, Caroline?
I hear it's good. It's supposed to be like one of the best horror movies of the year. I've seen a couple other the best horror movies of the year, and they all sucked to me.
I still got to see the new Terrifier. I still have not seen the newest one.
Bruh, I really liked the new Terrifier. I am not a fan necessarily of Terrifier and Terrifier 2, but I did really enjoy part 3. It's kind of like the House versus Devils thing. It was more fun, right?
Oh, cool. I just have a thing with clowns. I also really like clowns. I've always liked clowns for some odd reason. So if it's a movie about like a killer clown or serial killer clown or something like that, I'm probably going to like it.
What's up, Cliff? Nice to see you, buddy.
Cliff,
a pillar of the community.
Yeah, I love Cliff.
Oddity. I haven't seen Oddity yet. So the ones I've seen that everybody loves is Long Legs, which I did not like. And then yeah, I did not like Long Legs. I tried. I thought I was too stupid after getting out of that movie. I was like, I must just not understand it. But then the more I thought about it, then I watched it again. I was like, no, this movie is dumb, man. What was the other one? There's another one that everybody was loving that I was just like, what? I don't remember what that one was right now. But my favorites of the year so far as horror films go, would be, or of 2024. I would Maxine. I'm a big fan of because I love the Ty West X trilogy, and the Nosferatu movie, man, was really. I want to
see
good.
that. I want to see that. Yes, I do want to see that.
That one's good. Are you a Robert Eggers fan? Have you seen like The Witch or The Northman and The Lighthouse?
I don't think I've seen any of those.
Bro, write those down.
Yeah, man.
You should write those down right now. The Witch.
I'll write them now. The Witch.
Yeah, The Witch, The Lighthouse, and The Northman. Watch those movies, man. Yeah, it's the same director, dude. He's great. He's great. Those movies are great.
What was the third one?
The Northman.
The Northman. Okay.
You like Vikings, brutal violence? You like Conan and shit?
Oh yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
What are your favorite comics right now? Going on right now?
Let's see. My favorite comics right now. I'm really enjoying Void Rivals. Void Rivals is consistently really good.
Agreed.
Geez, you put me on the spot.
You read like what, 20 comics a week or something?
Yeah, I read so many.
Do you read Kaya?
No, I have not read Kaya. I did read. Oh, you reviewed Patra, and you said that it was really good. I didn't know anybody else reading that, but that was pretty good. I enjoyed Patra.
James Robinson, Scott Collins. I think that's some of the best Scott Collins artwork because it's like so textured and rough and gritty, right? And usually has a very angular, like thin, dynamic style. It was really interesting to see that for me.
I don't know, man. I'm trying not to give the typical answers because like the Ultimates is really good. Transformers is really good. My favorite comic, I don't know. I was trying to think of, okay, I'll give you some not so typical stuff because I can go the easy route and say Ghost Machine. I love Ghost Machine, man. Geiger, fantastic. Redcoat, Rook Exodus. But I'll give you some that aren't brought up as much. Let's see. Dick Tracy, Alex Segura is doing a fantastic job on Dick Tracy.
With Michael Morisi. Yeah.
Man, it's really good. It's really good. I'm really enjoying that. And Toxic Avenger. I know not too many people are into Toxic Avenger, but I think Matt Bors is doing a fantastic job. And this is coming from somebody who is an old school Trauma fan, who was a fan of the old Toxic Crusaders and Toxic Avenger. Like I fucking
called Greg. You mentioned Dick Tracy, and this motherfucker just shows up magically. He literally was the first comment on the stream before we even started. Never heard from him again. And now you mentioned Dick Tracy, and he just shows the fuck up, man.
I think he knows about the Toxic Avenger too, but Matt Bors has done a fantastic job. Ahoy Comics. I'm still blown away by Mark Spears, man. I can't talk about Mark Spears enough. Mark Spears Monsters.
Did you know I know him?
You do. You do know him. I think you mentioned. No, you did a fantastic interview. That interview that y'all did was really good. I was in the chat
Like you
watching.
talking about the 3 hour just friends catching up.
Yeah, dude. I was hanging out in the chat watching that one.
Yeah, dude. I know you're a fan, dude. I told him about you. I said, did I tell you what I told him? I said, if someone named SVaughn82, Scott Vaughn,
uh-huh.
ever reaches out to you to do a show, you should do it. I didn't
Cool.
tell you that.
I had tried in the past, but it was before
okay. Don't
that.
worry. I'll see what I can do.
Okay.
He's very busy. That's all I
know
hear
that.
from him nowadays, and I get it, man. But like,
that's why I never I never get upset when people like that can't do it.
We got you, bro.
He's like,
we got you.
He's
Don't
still
worry.
on fire, dude. But he was top 3 artists of last year. But not only with the art, I think the story's good. The way he tells the story with very little words, it's just mainly his art, but he does such a good job of it.
He's been a fan since a little bit before us. Like I think he got into it in the late 70s, early 80s, something like that. Mark is legit in his fandom. And what's cool about monsters is it's everything he loves, dude. It's universal monsters, right? Not legally, but it's, it's like classic monsters. It's G.I. Joe. It's big tits. It's like there's a little bit of Monster Squad Goonies that's going to come up, right? So like it's everything Mark loves thrown the fuck together, man. And it's been a treasure to see him be able to do these covers and like to know that he's so excited about doing Thundercats covers, man.
I've got them all pre-ordered, man. I'm looking forward to that. That Silverhawks, he's got a lot of really cool stuff coming up,
bruh. And then they've goddamn Dynamite. Our friends at Dynamite.
There's that one. I picked that one up yesterday.
Hell yeah, dude. That's a good book too. That's Alex, right? Yeah, that's Alex.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it is.
Shit, Helen of Windhorn. I wanted to throw that one out there too. That was another good series that people hadn't talked about enough. But Tom King, Helen of Windhorn, that was a good one.
Yeah, that Bill Kisavely, that made my top 5 of the year, I believe.
The combination, it's the combination of Tom King's writing with Bilquist. Is it Bilquist? Is that how you say it?
I've heard it say Bilquist, Bill Key. I don't know. I just like to say Billy Eves. Man. Billy Eves.
They are a killer combo. Those two together, fantastic.
Yeah, they did the Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, which they're basing the movie on. You excited about that Superman movie coming up?
Kinda. I will go see it. I don't know if I'll go see it in the theater, but I'll definitely watch it when it's like streaming. But I won't be like running out like I did Deadpool Wolverine. I'm more a Marvel person. I hate to say that because I know you're more a DC person, right?
No, I'm a fan of comics, brother.
I just
I think DC's better than Marvel right now, and I think DC has more like evergreen perennial works that are available for people to consume in a smaller package. Things like Batman Year One, Batman Long Halloween, a lot of Batman shit, but even stuff like All-Star Superman, the Vertigo line. I don't know if I'm supposed to say it, but like Sandman's a really good book, but there's tons of stuff like The Invisibles by Grant Morrison and Alan Moore's work on Swamp Thing. And like, there's so many things that still work so well today from DC. So am I more of a DC fan than Marvel? Maybe, but am I a fan of Marvel? Absolutely. My favorite comic book series of all time, like just to collect and enjoy. And the book that I will never not get is Fantastic Four. Like,
really,
Fantastic Four really hooked me in as a young kid.
Okay,
and then
that's cool.
Yeah, so then I came back and I started reading like when they did the die cut cover. You'll probably remember that, like 358 or something. Alicia's a fucking Skrull and all that kind of shit. And I got hooked in, man. I got hooked in, and they're fighting with like the new Fantastic Four. So they have the new Fantastic Four. They fight with the new Fantastic Four. Wolverine slashes things face up, bruh. I was hooked ever since. Never stopped reading Fantastic Four. Right? Love Secret Wars. Love Infinity Gauntlet. Love most of their movies. Right?
I was going to bring up that too. The Infinity books, the Infinity Gauntlet, Infinity War, and was it what Infinity Crusade? I
Yeah.
loved all of those growing up.
Infinity
Infinity
Crusade.
Crusade was a little weaker, yeah. But I mean, I still liked it though. It's still kind of,
Yeah.
I thought it was cool
I
growing
like
up.
Marvel. Marvel had 2 books on my top 20, and they probably should have had 3 because I left out Ultimates, really. Honestly, and Ultimates have been one of the best. But I put in
Dude,
what did I put in
Grommets,
for
man.
Marvel?
Grommets. I can't leave Grommets out. Even though it's over, technically, it just ended. Grommets was so good, dude. Rick
It's not
Remender.
over yet, right? There's like one more issue, I think, in there.
Is there one more issue?
Yeah, I think there's like it's a
Okay.
7-issue series, maybe. Oh, did it
But
end?
I don't know, man. I maybe it does have one more issue. I could be wrong. Grommets though, fantastic. Rick Remender. I wanted to throw that one out. I was just trying to throw out some that I don't hear people talk about as much because Energon and Ghost Machine,
Yeah,
both get thrown out a lot.
So like,
because they're so good.
We were talking about like softcore porn, fucking nostalgia earlier. How about like fast food nostalgia? Do you have that? Because I have fast food nostalgia really bad. And that second issue of Grommets where they're at the Taco Bell, bruh. Just like
but see, like even with that, like the what's the old school menu where they're bringing back the old items now at Taco Bell?
Yeah, the decades menu or whatever.
They still haven't brought back my damn enchilito. Where is my enchilito?
Dude, the enchilito's a shit, bro. And
know.
Okay, so you're a Taco Bell guy like me, right? Is that what you're saying?
I got one right up the road. Yeah, hell yeah.
Fuck yeah. We're both imbibing tonight, so like I think we both like Taco Bell probably. Like it's my favorite fast food restaurant, brother. It like straight up is my favorite fast food restaurant. Like people talk shit about it. People go, "Oh, Taco Bell, you're about to shit yourself," and I'm like, "What are you fucking talking about? What's your stomach like? You eat a goddamn Taco Bell taco and you just shit yourself? What's the fucking problem? Like I don't understand." Anyway. What the fuck was I going? I just love Taco Bell. I love Taco Bell, man. So but yo, it's the enchilito. No, you're right. And the most fucking frustrating thing about Taco Bell, because I have a love-hate thing with them, right?
Why can't they bring it back? It'd be so easy.
Here's the thing. They have everything that's in it.
I know. It's so easy. Put
every menu item that's gone
in a bowl.
Yeah.
And drown it in the red sauce and sprinkle some damn melted cheese on top.
Bro, what's crazy is you got to spend so much extra money special ordering it on their fucking app to get that. But that's what you do. You would get like a burrito, add beef, add double beef, side of red sauce, cheese. You'd have to like melt it yourself, right? But it's stupid. They had like they got rid of the 7-layer burrito, one of the greatest items on the Taco Bell menu in history.
That was good. It was good.
They still have everything to make
one thing and you needed it to fill you up. The 7-layer burritos got you. Yes.
Yeah. And they still have everything to make it.
But
cool now instead of like a $5 burrito, it's like a $9 special order on a burrito supreme. Where you like take this away, add this, it's so stupid. You can still recreate these things, but you have to like get on the app and like fucking it's so stupid. And they need to have volcano sauce back. The volcano menu needs to come back, man.
Yeah, what happened to that? Why? It was
they just do it every so often, man. They did it a few, like what, 2 or 3 years ago. I was so happy that it came back. I love that. It's basically just a jalapeno cheddar sauce. You can get it anywhere better, but it's cool when it's in a red taco. And you have to go, get me 2 volcano tacos, please. Yeah. Do you remember when they first introduced the volcano menu? It was a tie-in to a movie. Do you remember what movie that was? Like mid-90s. Based on a Michael Crichton novel. The author of Jurassic World or Jurassic Park, but not Jurassic Park.
No, it wasn't Joe and the Volcano, was it?
No, close. It was Congo.
Congo. Oh, that's a lot newer. Okay. Yeah, I never saw Congo, but I remember like the like advertisements and stuff for it.
Yeah, that's based on a Michael Crichton novel. He's like one of my favorite novelists. Like every book of his has become a movie. Jurassic Park, Andromeda Strain, Sphere, Congo. A lot of not so good movies, but you know, it is what it is. Yep. Bearded knew what it was. Bearded and me have some of the same nostalgia. Are you nostalgic for Dick Tracy Playmates action figures like me and Greg?
Hell yeah. I'm a toy collector. I love the old toys and new toys. I collect Probably too much Marvel Legends, but I also love the old Toy Biz stuff as well. And yeah, man, I pick up a lot of toys.
So you're a big Marvel guy. So it's
Hell yeah.
the 90s Marvel stuff is like kind of your bread and butter, right? As far as like old school toys.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I buy a lot more just new Marvel Legends. I don't really collect a lot of retro toys so much anymore, but if I see a cool one on card, I'll pick it up.
Gotcha. I'm the opposite. I'm more of the vintage guy when it comes to toys.
I don't
the only like
find
newer
good
toys I
vintage
buy
ones
are
on
like.
card. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry, man.
I was just saying I don't find a lot of vintage ones on card, like in the cards clean. If I find them, I'll get them. Like that Nightcrawler. Hell yeah, I'll grab those.
Look at
all
my
day
card
long.
on the Nightcrawler, man.
Oh, mine's clean, dude. Mine's actually like straight. It's pretty clean. It looks good.
No, my idea is that one
often.
day I'll find a cleaner one and I'll open this one, is what I do. And I love that this one's got a Kmart sticker on it. $5.99. $5.99 for an action figure, man.
I'm kind of jealous of that. It does, because like I'm extremely nostalgic. You talk about being nostalgic. I'm nostalgic over Kmart for some reason.
Hell yeah.
Dude, I love Kmart. I loved Kmart.
Yeah. R.I.P. Right, man? They had that fucking snack bar, and they had like a sub sandwich.
The fucking potato wedges, dude. Those potato wedges. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Dude, one of a fond memory I have that's kind of sad is when we had two Kmarts here. One closed down finally, like probably like, I don't know, like 10 plus years ago, right? When they were like dying out.
Yeah.
But when the first Kroger or first Kmart around town closed, like I remember going there and like being so devastated at how empty everything was. But I found a like G.I. Joe style Blanca blue and orange variant, like on card, and I bought it. But I would buy my toys from Kmart most of the time. Toxic Crusaders, Ghostbusters, the real Ghostbusters, TMNT, Terminator 2, those toys, the Toy Biz shit. I mostly got that was the Toys R Us era. And then the Toy Biz DC stuff was the KB Toy Store era. But the DC Superpowers figures were some of my favorite toys. My first figures when I was a kid. That and He-Man, and I didn't have any Transformers. I had GoBots.
I didn't have Transformers. I didn't have any Transformers at all, but I had damn near every Ninja Turtle.
I wanted Transformers, right? But my grandmother would be like, "This is a Transformer. It's a goddamn GoBot," and I'm like, "That's fine. I get it. Transformers are expensive." So now that's like one of the few modern toys I do collect is I do collect some of my favorite, who I consider essential Transformers characters. I collect the newer Hasbro ones, like not like the high dollar ones, but like, I don't know, like I have to have an Optimus and a Megatron and a Jazz and a Soundwave, all that kind of shit.
Got to. Yeah, you got to have the basics covered.
He-Man, Silverhawks, Thundercats. I loved all that shit, man.
If I found some of the old Toxic Avenger toys or the Toxic Crusaders line, I would definitely buy those. I just don't see them really.
Yeah, you don't find them very often. I have Toxie, right? I have Toxie, and I can't remember the name of the dude, but the nose guy or the snot guy or whatever.
Oh man, that's awesome.
I have him. He's right back there, and I have the villain henchman that's like the skull dude that glows in the dark. It's like a punk rocker. Like I don't remember his name, Bone Crusher or something like that, maybe.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I have him, and I have the werewolf dude, like Junkyard something. I have him.
I never had any of those.
Yeah,
I think I had the bad guy with like 4 arms. He had like the gas mask. I had
They just re-released one of them. Like it's out there.
I got the re-release of Toxie. I got 2 of them.
Nice. Did you open the second one?
Yeah, I got one out of box, and then I kept one on card.
Hell yeah. We did a thing one time on Rockin Robbie Live where I was like, "Hey guys, right now for $50, I can get a Toxie from Toxic Crusaders. Can we get super chats for that?" And like it got funded. And I was like, I did a whole unboxing video on my channel. I was like, I did a whole Rockin Robbie Live where I unboxed it. It was so I fucking love Toxic Crusaders, man. They're like the
That's
coolest, dude. The coolest, man.
something about it, man. It just stuck out to me as a kid, and it's just really gross, disgusting. Everything you wanted as a kid.
Yeah, absolutely. Fuck, I got that nose dude back here. I'll be right back. Hold on. I'm right here.
Yeah, let's see it. Hell yeah, that's cool. That's awesome. Thanks for coming out, guys, and watching. There's a lot of cool people in the chat right now. Appreciate you guys.
I have the
Been
bone
fun.
dude here too. But yeah, there's the nose guy.
Yes,
The wheel
that's
for a
awesome.
leg. You put the fucking snot in the top and it comes out. It's like the Muckman type thing, right? By the way,
So
you were talking
cool.
about TMNT, bro. I still collect those. It's great. There's the bone dude. That's a cool looking figure, dude. And he glows in the dark.
Oh, he is so cool.
Yeah, that's dope as shit. He's like with the villain henchman or some shit.
Those are really cool. I've never seen those. Like, I've never seen them in person.
My Toxie is actually in a fucking bin somewhere right now. But hell yeah.
But yeah, I collect anything Toxie. I just love Toxie. I collect the old comic books, movies, anything.
Is it because of the cartoon or is it because of the movie?
The
Like
cartoon is
movie?
what the cartoon's what really hooked me, but I also liked the movie as a kid as well. And the comic book series. There was two comic
Yeah,
book
the Marvel
series.
one, right? I remember the Marvel one.
Toxic Crusaders, and then there was Toxic Avenger. And I like both of those too. They were good.
That's cool. I'm big into the Kid and Play Marvel comic. Like, it took me a while, but I finally collected every issue of that.
Dude, Class Act. Class Act was one of my favorite movies from the 90s.
Bruh, you
I
can't
love that.
find it anywhere, it seems
Dude,
like, too, man.
I love that movie like so much. That's one of my favorite movies from the 90s.
You a hip hop guy? Were you a hip hop guy back then as a kid?
Man, my best friend was a DJ growing up, so like I have extensive hip hop knowledge.
Bruh,
I
so
just don't talk about it a lot.
So back in the day, if you like Kid and Play, like, did you like Fresh Prince and
DJ
Rakim
Jazzy
and
Jeff.
Eric B and like, dude, I was Salt and Pepper, right? Like, oh my god, dude. And then I got into NWA. I had a friend who was like 2 years older than me, and I'm like, I think I'm like 8 years old, and this guy's like 10. He's like, "You ever heard of NWA?" I was like, "No," and he played it, and I was just like,
blow your mind.
And then a few years later, Chronic, Doggy Style, the whole Death Row Revolution, bruh.
Yeah. I never wanted to be a gangster so bad, like a little white kid. Little white kid.
No shit, dude. That was my middle school era, man. I was just like, I that was what I was into, man. I didn't even get into like, I never got into rock music really until I was like, so I switched schools and from 7th to 8th grade, which at least in my experience is the worst time to switch schools from a school that's predominantly black to a school that's predominantly white, right? I think that's a really bad time for me at this period. Like, all of a sudden there's a bunch of like, so I moved to a neighborhood that was more wealthy, except for we lived on the side of the neighborhood that wasn't, Okay. So it was one of those kind of things, right? And I remember going to that school, and I remember like with what I was into, like all these preppy ass white kids. I think that's why I started listening to shit like Nirvana and Green Day and Stone Temple Pilots, was like to kind of understand and absorb more of that culture. Because my culture before that was all like hip hop and R&B. Like, that was the music I was into. That was the movies I was into, like, and all of that shit. But then eventually I got accepted throughout all the communities in the school, because, all I want to do is become best friends.
I bet you, man. But because we're so close in age, I bet you we were into a lot of the same music.
I guarantee
like,
it, man.
My musical taste is all over the place.
Yeah. What are you digging right now that's new? Because I don't like. Have you succumbed to what I've succumbed to, where I'm keeping up with movies? I'm not even keeping up with movies as much as I should, but I'm keeping up with comics. I'm doing all this shit. Like, I hardly find new music, but I don't seek it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's hard.
I'm kind of stuck in the 90s, man, to be honest with you.
It is like, for a long time, like I wondered if there was something wrong with me or if I was just getting old, because I couldn't get into new artists. But here lately, I've I've found some here and there that I am, like Tyler the Creator. He's a newer artist. He's doing cool stuff. Um, who was it? Thundercat. Thundercat is an amazing bass player, amazing artist. I got into his stuff for a little while.
Thank you, Taki.
Shit. Who's there's some decent ones. Like if you're into like heavier stuff, some Falling in Reverse is good until he starts rapping. Like Ronnie Radke's pretty good until he raps. But Falling in Reverse, they're decent. They're like their metal stuff's pretty good. But
I occasionally fall into something new, like I became a big fan of Big Data because I went and saw him because fitness was opening up for Big Data. And I'm a big fitness fan because Eve 6 frontman Max Collins is part of fitness. Anyway, got into Big Data, led me into Joywave. So I follow them. I've gotten recently into In This Moment. I think they're a pretty fucking good band.
I have never heard of them.
They're pretty good. Like look up their song Whore. Like really fucking good shit, man. And Blood, really good. Yeah, In This Moment. I think it's In This Moment, pretty sure. There's a few newer things that I can get into, but I'm the dude that was watching the Super Bowl and saw the Weeknd's halftime performance and went, who the fuck is this Weeknd kid? This guy's awesome. Okay. And I became the biggest Weeknd fan, dude.
Have you went through the phase where you listened to the Trilogy album yet?
What Trilogy album? What are you talking
about? Okay. Get ready to have your mind blown. Go back to the beginning of the Weeknd's career. His first 3 albums are called the Trilogy. Listen to those 3 albums. It's like a mix of it's like 9 Inch Nails meets R&B. It's the craziest shit I've ever heard. When I first heard those 3 albums, it blew my mind. But his newer stuff, it's okay. Listen to those 3 albums, dude. I swear they're so good. You'll thank me.
I don't know anything about this.
They're extremely dark and like sexy, and it's R&B meets 9 Inch Nails, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah, because when I'm getting into him, it's after his Super Bowl performance, so it's all about after hours at that time, which I thought was brilliant because he did a sequence of a whole bunch of music videos that told this one story, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you've gone through that journey, if you've done that, right? And you watch them in an order, but all of the after hours music videos, if you watch in a certain order, tell a story that ends with him getting his head cut off and put on another person's body and then like face fucked by a chick. Like that's basically the end of the movie. Then he becomes this like almost like an automaton for like the rich elite, and he's out there singing for them in this like fake form. Dude, it's crazy as fuck, dude. Like the Blinding Lights video is a part of it. Dude.
I'm familiar with that.
Yeah. There's a YouTube playlist where you can just see the after hours in order. Yeah. Dude, it's wild. So I had no idea because then I go back and the first album I'm listening from him is I don't remember the name of the album. The Starboy is a great fucking album, but the album before that where it's like The Hills Have Eyes is a part of it, right? And I Can't Feel My Face. I thought that was like the first one, man. That's crazy.
No, there's 4 albums before that. There's the Trilogy albums, which I can't remember the names of the 3, but it's they're just called the Trilogy albums.
Yeah, now it's just a compilation now called Trilogy.
Yeah,
30 tracks. Wow.
And then Kissland. The Kissland is really good as well. But then after that, he starts getting a little more poppy. But like Kissland, the first 4 albums are like this weird R&B meets 9 Inch Nails. It's almost like it's like submission in music form. It's like bondage in music form.
Beauty Behind the Madness is the album I think that I was talking about with Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah.
I see Kissland in 2013. You just opened up a whole new segment of Weeknd for me, so thank you so much.
Dude, it is bondage in music form, man. I promise you, they're awesome. Those 3 albums.
Dude, that song you did for 50 Shades is so fucking sexy, man. That's a song I love to fuck to, man. Like,
okay. Seriously. Those 3 albums are more like that song. They're like that song. Yeah. It's
fuck
like that.
Dude. Hell yeah.
It's definitely that style.
That's fucking dope as shit. All right. You were out of comics for a while. When you came back, did you go back? Did you read some of the classics that you missed out on? And if so, out of those classics, what are the ones that stand out to you?
Yeah, man. I was collecting graphic novels for a little bit. I was visiting comic shops for a little while and picking up graphic novels and hardcovers and things like that. And like I picked up I wanted to like catch up on some characters that I missed out on throughout the years. Like Red Hood coming back. That happened after I was out of comics. So I dove into Red Hood and the Outlaws and checked them out. And then I checked out some of the classics. I checked out Craven's Last Hunt. I picked up the graphic novel for that. And just a lot of different graphic novels. Both playing catch up and reading like some of the classics. I picked up the Infinity Gauntlets and all the Crisis on Infinite Earths, all the classic stuff. What is it? Kingdom Come, all the making sure to pick up the classics, but I was picking up new stuff too. And before I picked up floppies, but eventually I went to a signing. It was an Alex Ogle signing at a comic shop, and I got this pinup that he did a Vampirella signed on the inside of a comic. And that's what actually got me buying floppies, I think.
Oh, nice. So
Yeah,
out of your current weekly pull list, right? What percentage is Marvel? What percentage is DC? What percentage is Image? And what percentage is Indies?
I can give you probably a pretty accurate breakdown on that. I would probably go, let's see, about 40 Marvel. And then, 40 Marvel. We'll do 30 indie, with probably 10 of that being Image. So 40 Marvel, 30 indie, and then the other 30 would be DC. Typically.
All right, so you are reading DC, right?
I am reading DC. I'm reading all the Absolute stuff.
You have to read the Absolutes. You got the Absolute Book Club going on, man.
Yeah, the Absolute Book Club. I'm reading it to keep up with the book club, basically.
What was the general consensus? What was it? Tuesday night, y'all did the Superman ones?
We did the Superman, Absolute Superman issues 1, 2, and 3, and we did that on Fable's channel. One collection.
What was the general consensus, man?
We all liked it. We didn't originally have plans to do Superman. We were just going to do Wonder Woman and Batman at first, but it was so highly requested that we decided to do it. And I ended up enjoying it after I got to issue 2. I started enjoying it, and a lot of the other guys were enjoying it as well. So I feel like that it's doing. I feel like there are people that like all. What's the best way to word it? Like there are people out there whose favorite is Batman. It's pretty evenly broke up, I feel like.
Yeah. I feel like what I see from most people is that it's mostly Batman that they're a fan of. And then
Really?
like Wonder Woman is slightly over Superman.
I've been seeing a lot of Wonder Woman.
That's what I'm seeing from my sales and
you see actual data though. You're seeing data.
Yeah.
So
like, but Batman is a fucking smash hit. The Absolute Batman is a smash hit.
But I mean,
everybody's digging that. And like, as a retailer, one of the big things that I notice is when a book comes out within its first like year, how many people a week add it to their pull list. And Absolute Batman, it's like a list every fucking week. Yeah, it just keeps going, man. Ultimates did it at first, then they kind of plateaued. Now they're dropping just a little bit, but not Spider-Man. But the other Ultimate books are dropping. But for me at my store right now, it's Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimates, Ultimate X-Men, and then Ultimate Black Panther.
Yeah, I believe that because I actually dropped Ultimate Black Panther, and that's the only one I've dropped so far.
Yeah. But now we got Ultimate Wolverine, 1 issue in. We'll see what happens. So
yeah, and it was good so far. But Ultimate Black Panther, I'm not shitting on it. It was good. I just wasn't getting what I wanted after 9 issues, so I dropped it.
I love Ultimate Black Panther, and I would challenge you, buddy. Sit down, read all 9 issues at once. It will not take you more than 15, 20 minutes, right? Because that's just the kind of writer Brian Hill is. He's a sparse writer, but there's a lot of like parallels and very Michael Mann-isms with Brian Hill's work that aren't evident reading it month to month. So if you read that,
I wanted more action. I wanted that war to happen, and they just kept building up and building, and I don't know. Yeah. I wanted more.
Yeah, no, you're right, but I get it. I agree. But if you read them all together, I think you would
Mhm.
feel very much more satisfied. I'm just going to
Okay.
say. So I'm just
So, yeah.
saying it's not, there are books that are not good monthly reads, but are really
Yeah,
good
that's true.
reads outside of that. And then there are
That's
books that are
very
great
true.
monthly reads that are not good reads in like trade paperback collected form or something like that. So
Yeah,
maybe
no, you're
Ultimate Black
exactly right.
Panther's a trade weight for you, you know?
I think maybe it is. I'll try it in trade paperback. I do.
Yeah.
There are certain series that I prefer just reading all at once. It's just good that way. I
My favorite
agree.
absolute book though was Wonder Woman for certain. Like Wonder
Mine
Woman
is too.
is the shit. Yeah, I fucking love Hayden on that book. Kelly, they're doing great. Jordy's doing great. I think is it Jordy?
Man,
I don't know if it is
I'm not,
Jordy.
I'm not sure, but hats off to them though. The whole creative team, that's my favorite as well. I love what they're doing with the character. It's like Scarlet Witch with the magic and I don't know. It's just so cool. It's really cool. It's kind of like magic and Scarlet Witch because I don't know. She's from hell and was raised in. It's cool. It's cool. I like what they're doing with it. It's
Hell yeah.
really neat. Pegasus,
Hell
the
yeah.
horse,
Yeah, dude, so dope, man.
the
That fucking goddamn
the
Final Fantasy
mythology,
sword or whatever the fuck, like just so cool, man.
dude. All those little weapons she keeps whipping out. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. I love it because
Oh,
and at the same time, still the core of who Diana is, right? Like, and I
yeah,
really, really
exactly.
like that. Yeah.
Exactly. The core's still there, but like, yeah, I really dig it. They're doing a fantastic job. But I mean, like I'm enjoying, with the exception of the last issue of Absolute Batman, which was kind of crap, but it's all been pretty good. I've liked it all.
It's just bonkers. It's like the dumbest Batman book I've ever read, and it's so much awesome because of that, right? It's
Well,
like
like
reading
I
a
don't,
dumb movie that's awesome because it's so fucking just
and
it's
I
it's
think we had
it's,
like a
it's
fill-in
not taking
artist.
the audience for granted. It's like accepting Scott Snyder will do these books. He does it like he did with the metal books, right? Where he's like, I'm
Mhm.
just going to think that you're on board with me and understand what we're doing, right?
Right.
And like it's ridiculous as fuck, man. His goddamn Batmobile is this giant thing that then
It's like
fucking
a
somehow
dump
like
truck.
shrinks
Yeah.
down into like this super speedy fucking thing, man. And like it's just so dumb that it's so much fun, dude. It's Nick Dragata that's making that book work, I think. Like it's
Well,
the
like,
art, it's the dynamic
wasn't it?
energy.
Didn't we have a guest, like a fill-in artist for this past issue? Because the
Yeah,
art was really off.
Gabriel Walta. Yeah.
It
I like
was it
his
was
style,
off.
but it's the opposite of that kinetic style of Dragata. It's the exact
Mhm.
opposite of that, man. It's a very
Yeah.
stiff, indie, textured kind of thing. And Scott tried to make it work with the story by doing more of a flashback, but it just didn't. It flew. It people love that book because it's what Spawn was in 1993. It's like fast, it's big, it's boisterous,
Oh
it's
man.
just going for it.
And that was, like we've gone the whole night without mentioning Todd McFarlane or Spawn. I kind of feel bad about that, but that was like a huge influence on me throughout childhood and coming back, dude. Todd McFarlane was huge, man. That's my collecting revolved around Todd McFarlane when I
Yeah.
first came back. So
He's going to be at MegaCon, and I'm very, very fucking excited. By the way, MegaCon, everybody, just so you know, they denied my press badge this year. They approved me last year, denied me this year. So if anybody out there knows how to get me into MegaCon, just let me know. All right, Scotty,
keep it
thank you
up.
so much for joining
Yeah,
us. I got another show in like 9 minutes, so we got to wrap this up. We could keep going.
we
This has
got
been
to.
fun. Let's do a round two, and we'll talk more about Todd McFarlane and your
Let's do
thoughts
it.
on Rob Liefeld and Jim Lee, Mark Silvestri. We didn't even touch on the golden era, really, of our comics when we were
There's
kids,
so
right?
much we didn't talk about, man. We got so much more to talk about.
I know we got wrapped up in goddamn Super Nintendo, the NES, and fucking Toy Biz action figures and Toxic Crusaders, man. But that's what I'm here for, man. Not a lot of
It's fun.
people I consider fans of Toxic Crusaders, man. So fuck yeah,
Yes,
dude. And we're close, man. We got to hang out in person, man. We're very, very close. I'm
we
going
are
to be
close.
heading up to North Carolina at the end of February. I'll see if the path works, and if it does, maybe we can stop, have lunch or something while I'm on the road.
Man, if you can make it, it's on me, bro.
Oh, well, thank you, man. I'm an expensive date, just so you know. But I'm just joking. We'll go to Taco Bell, bro.
Taco Bell. I'm good with that. I'm good with
Bro,
Taco Bell.
So I went to Scarefest this last year. Real quick, we'll just wrap it up with this. I went to the Scarefest this last year. I go Scarefest every year. It's fucking amazing. A big horror con. It's exciting. They just announced their first guest, Robert Englund. It's in Lexington, Kentucky. You should think about going. It's in October. They gave me a press badge last year. I bet you could get one too. Who knows?
Man.
But
I have
just
so
apply.
much,
Dude,
so
it's
many
so
Nightmare
good.
on Elm Street comics.
They
so
just
many.
announced Robert Englund, right? That's all I'm saying. But what the fuck was the point? Okay. I found a website called livingmoss.com. That's the Taco Bell fan website. And there is there's a map of all the Taco Bell restaurants that still have the chili cheese burrito. And I found one on the way. I found the one Taco Bell on the way to Lexington, Kentucky. And we stopped there on the way there and on the way back. And I bought extra to bring home. I'm not even fucking kidding, dude. It's in like Mumfordsburg, Kentucky is where we stopped. Like the dude I went with, my buddy John, he was like, man, I'm getting hungry. I'm like, 40 minutes to Mumfordsville. Like we're not stopping, bro. That's where we're eating lunch, man.
One way. That's awesome. The dedication.
Fuck yeah. So Fable, you're still out there with the wrench. So is, I see Big Herm and Eric. Somebody throw out the link in the chat to Scotty's channel. There's also a link in the description below. Why don't you tell us what you do and what you got coming up, man?
Well, I dropped a video yesterday about cartoonist Peter Bagg. I drop videos every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern time, typically about adult erotica and comics. This week, I took a little bit of a departure to talk about a very deserving, underappreciated cartoonist that I wanted to shine some light on. So this week's video is about
next
Peter
time
Bagg.
We got to talk about Peter Bagg and hate in particular, and the megalomaniacal Spider-Man. Did you read that one from Marvel?
Yes.
Yeah.
Bro. Hell yeah. It's awesome. But yeah, that's this week's video. I do one every Wednesday. Tomorrow I'm actually dropping a video. I got gifted by a viewer 2.5 years. He's gifted me the whole collection, but he sent me 2.5 years of heavy metal magazines. And I made a video going through each issue, the covers, and I'm dropping that on my channel tomorrow. So if you like heavy metal, yeah, dude, 79 through 81, I'll be going through on a video tomorrow. And I'm typically live. I used to be live Monday evenings at 7:30, but now I think I'm going to switch to Tuesday mornings for a little while, see how that goes. So look for me to be live on Tuesday mornings around 9ish.
I wish somebody sent me a stack of late 70s, early 80s heavy metals. That's fucking badass, dude. You're going to see like Richard Corbin and all kinds of cool fucking shit in there, man.
Dude, look, I mean, there were so many good ones. This is just one example of what was in there. I mean, look at that, y'all. That's just one example. Hold on, here's another one.
Yeah, give me another one. Give me a second one.
They're all just fantastic, beautiful covers. Look at that.
Fuck yeah. Talk about a glory hole. All right.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like 2.5 years worth.
Hell yeah. That's super cool, man. Yeah. I'll have to check out that video, man. That's awesome.
Hell yeah. Dude,
and you got Comic Book Addicts on a new night, presumably, or something?
It used to be on Monday evenings. I think I'm going to switch to Tuesday for a little while. Tuesday mornings. So Tuesday morning, 9 a.m.
You just said that. Jesus, I'm so stupid.
No, I didn't say specifically Comic Book Addicts. I should have. But yeah, Tuesday, 9 a.m. Come hang out with me if y'all aren't doing anything. I think there might be a couple of cartoonists that jump on with me. So if you're into that kind of thing, come hang out with us.
Heck yeah. Everybody go sub up to Scotty's channel. Do us a favor and do me a favor and follow me on over to Blood Splatter Chatter, where we are about to talk about George A. Romero's Martin, one of the most unconventional vampire movies I've ever seen, which is amazing. Scotty, thank you so much for being here. You out there in the chat, thank you so much. Y'all are the best. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say that it's a trip for me, man. Like when I got back into comics, I used to watch you religiously. And so to be on here with you right now is just a trip, man. Thanks for having me.
Fuck, man. We're homies, man. You're not just on here with me. We're homies now, bro. We bonded tonight, man. Toxic Crusaders, man. Toxic Crusaders, man. That's all I'm saying.
It's an honor.
Meet me in Mumfordsville, Kentucky on the way to Scarefest. We'll have a chili cheese burrito. It'll be on me.
Don't tempt me with a good time, bro. Don't tempt me.
All right, dude. This has been great. Thank you so much. You out there in the chat, thank you so much. Station, pop, pop, boom. And if you're not down with PCPX, I got 2 words for you. Sub up to Scotty. That was